The empowered self involves 7 components. There are 7 steps to become empowered. The first step is self-awareness that leads to self-acceptance. Self-awareness and self-acceptance is the first step. Because it's not just enough to be aware, you need to accept what you're becoming aware of. So the first step, self-awareness, and that's what we're going to focus on. But just to give you a bridge to see the bigger picture, the second step is self-worth. To own and to acknowledge your worth. To own and acknowledge that you are worthy. To find and to discover the spiritual part of you that is ultimately and unequivocally, unconditionally loved and loving. To be and to find and to own the worth of who you are. Not to try to get it, not try to earn it, not try to figure out how to become more worthy, because you can't. You already are. It's like an 8-ounce glass of water. Trying to put 2 more ounces of water in it is never going to happen. You already are completely full of worth. You need to own it. You need to accept it. The difference between any human being is whether they're aware, again, the first step, of the worth that they have, or whether they're not aware of it. That's the difference between the Pope and the bum on the street that just spit up kerosene. They both are equally valuable. They both have 100% of soul and spirit. They both are worthy. But the difference is in their awareness. One is aware and one is not. So awareness is the key and acceptance is the key. And then the third step is that of self-esteem. Self-esteem is love that you earn by the way you live your life, by the way of being honest and responsible, integral and trusting. When you function in a certain way, you develop self-esteem. And when we don't function with honesty, responsibility, trust, or integrity, then we develop false esteem, which is competition and comparison and getting outside validation and trying to get people to pat you on the back, which makes you feel good for a few minutes, but it's not even self-esteem, it's people doing it for you. Self-generated comes from the fact that I'm an honest person, and at the end of the day, I can own that, and I can feel good about myself because of the way I lived my life today. So that's the third component, is self-esteem. The fourth is self-love. To love ourselves, to acknowledge that we are lovable and that we can give love, we can receive love, and we can be loved. Now, giving love is a part of who you are, and we always have the choice and the free will not to be a loving person. That's part of owning the negative part of self-awareness, where we own the fact that I could have been loving and I chose not to. I could have been loving and I was angry. I could have been loving and I was afraid of being loving. That's part of understanding that. But the fourth component of self-love is where most people think, that's it, I'm done. I've loved myself. That's all the components of being empowered. But once you get there, there's 3 other steps. From self-love and self-esteem emerges self-confidence, the 5th step. To be confident, to confide in yourself, to trust yourself. Self-confidence is the 5th step. And it naturally evolves out of awareness, worth, esteem, and love. You naturally start to feel confident in who you are. Now that's the 5th step. The 6th step is then self-respect. To be able to respect yourself. Self-respect means to look deeper into who you are. To respect yourself means to look deeper beyond who you are right now. To also respect and love yourself is to also own other parts of ourselves, the inner child that we once were. To heal and to respect myself is to own and understand my inner child, to make peace with the past. To respect is to look deeper, is what the word means. You know, means to return to go back to. Spect means to look at. Spectator, spectacles that you wear, is to look at. So to respect means to look at yourself again, to go back and look deeper, beyond who you've become, beyond what you've said and taught and conditioned from the time you're little of who you should be. Let me look deeper beyond that to discover who I really am. And that's really what this class is about, self-awareness. And I'm going to give you some great techniques to uncover and to discover more of who you really are, so that you can reach beyond the awareness and acceptance to the greater worth, esteem, love, confidence, and respect. And then finally, the 7th component of the empowered self is self-realization, to be actualized, to be fully realized. And self-realization is to not only be aware that you have impact, it's to own your impact. It's to say, I have impact, and I'm going to direct that impact into the world. I'm going to take my creativity and my talent and my strengths and my gifts, and I'm going to share it with the world. To consciously direct my impact is what self-realization is. To consciously decide, I'm going to move beyond struggle. To consciously decide, I've learned all the lessons I can learn from struggle, from pain, from failure, from negativity in my life. I've learned all those lessons. And I keep going back to those lessons because I haven't decided to learn about the positive side, to learn how I can learn about freedom and about joy and about happiness and about fulfillment and about inner peace. I've learned all I can learn about failure. I want to learn about success. I want to learn about the freedom and the joy of my life. So that's what the empowered self is made up of. And as conscious human beings, we always were given the free will choice to be aware of who we are.